Hey you guys, I am going to go over approximating square roots. Okay, so it says without using a calculator, fill in the blanks with two consecutive integers to complete the following inequality. Okay, so let's kind of break this down a little bit. Some of these vocab words. Consecutive integers. So consecutive means back to back, so one right after the other. And when it's what it's talking about, two consecutive integers, it's talking about two numbers that are back to back. So like 1, 2, or 3, 4, or 99, 100. Okay, those numbers are back to back. All right, so I'm gonna draw this out here. Okay, so square roots. We're talking about square roots. If we have the square root of 100, that would be 10. Because 10 times 10 is 100. Okay, but we need to go a little bit higher. We need to get to 181. And if your multiplication facts are not up to par, then this may be a little bit more work because it says to use this without a calculator. Now, obviously you can use a calculator, but I'm going to show you guys how to do it without using a calculator. Alright, so I started with 10. 10 times 10 is 100. And I'm just going to go up. So 11 times 11 is 121. 12 times 12 is 144. 13 times 13, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get close to 181. 13 times 13 is 169, I believe. Pretty sure it's 169. I'm going to actually use my calculator on my phone. I know I'm cheating. But oh, I just did. Okay, yeah, it is 169. And then 14 times 14 is 196. Okay, so I have now gone above 196. Alright, sorry about that. I had to stop recording because my daughter was playing horsey. Okay, so again, we're trying to get up to 181 and we're looking for two consecutive integers. Consecutive meaning back to back. Integers are just numbers that are not fractions, so they're just numbers, whole numbers. Okay, so we went up to 14 times 14, that's 196. I think my math is correct. I'll check in my calculator here in just a second. But these two, this is what we're looking for. We found our answer right here. Okay, they're whole numbers and they are back to back. So they are consecutive and they are integers, two consecutive integers. Okay, 13 is less than the square root of 181, and I know that because 13 times 13 is 169. And then 14 times 14 is 196. And I just checked on my phone, and yes, 14 times 14 is 196. So the square root of 181 would be in between there somewhere. So like 13.5 or something. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and check it. Voila! Okay, this next one here. Without using a calculator, order the following numbers from least to greatest. So from smallest to biggest. And you can see here again that we have numbers, we have two whole numbers, and then we have the square root of 58. So what is the square root of 58? I have no idea. But using my multiplication facts, I can kind of figure this out here. So I'm going to start at 8 times 8. That is 64. So that means the square root of 58 is less than 8. 7 times 7 is 49. Okay, so that means that the square root of 58 is more than 7, but less than 8. And the reason why I say that is because this right here, we can actually rewrite this like this. Instead of writing 8, we can rewrite the square root of 64. Instead of writing 7, we can write the square root of 49. And then, of course, the last one, the square root of 58. Okay? I know that the square root of 64 is 8. I know that the square root of 49 is 7. And this one right here, I should have used a different color. This one right here goes right in between them. Okay, so when it says from least to greatest, well, I actually did this the opposite. I did from greatest to least. So when I'm ordering them over here for the correct answer, I'm just going to do the opposite. I'm going to do 7, and then I'm going to do the square root of 58, and then after that, 8. So 7, the square root of 58, and then 8, and I will check this. All right. Okay, without using a calculator, choose the statement that best describes the value of the square root of 174. All right, so we got to figure out approximately what could this be. And I remember earlier that 13 times 13, oops. Okay, so 13 times 13, or 13 squared, is 169. Okay, and the reason why this is so important is because this right here, the square root of 174, is just right above the square root of 169. So if the square root of 169 is 13, then the answer to this must be a little bit more than 13. So I'm going to look over here, and I'm going to see what it has here. It says the value of the square root of 174 is between 13 and 13.5. That's looking pretty good. That's looking really good, because 14 squared, and I don't remember actually, so I'm just going to quickly multiply it here. 14 times 14, so 4 times 4, and let me just erase this right here. 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5, 4, 1, add it up, 6, 9, 1. Okay, so the square root of 196 is 14, so 14 would be too high, but 13.5 is looking pretty good. So I actually don't even need to look at the rest of these, because it's definitely not more than 14. The square root of 174 is not more than 14 because the square root of 196 is 14. So that means it's got to be less than 14. I hope I'm making sense here. So here we go. The square root of the value of the square root of 174 is between 13 and 13.5. That is my final answer. All right. And I'm going to end it here. This has already been a pretty long video.